Hello and welcome to the Rye-Town Park Commission meeting for the month of November 2010. And Bishop, please call the roll.
Deputy Supervisor Villanova?
Yes.
Mayor French?
Yes.
Mayor Pilla? I think he's going to be absent, I'm not sure. Mayor Feinstein spoke to me. She is on her way, so she will be here, but for the moment. Commissioner Salinitro is definitely going to be absent, and Commissioner Sack.
Here.
Okay.
Very good. Please stand. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, just to keep the meeting moving and to give the public the opportunity for comment, we'll go right to that port now. So, any members of the public that are here that would like to make any comment? Come on, something.
That's a first.
All right.
For once,
There goes that. There goes that. There.
There's a line out the door, usually.
Should I go up the microphone?
Yes, that would be
Yes,
great.
please.
Yeah, I'm Mike Corbett. I live at 600 Forest Avenue in Rye. And I'm just interested in pushing the automation of the cash flow for the beach access and the parking in the Rye-Town Park. And my concern, of course, I think your budget is February. So it'd be great if you can do that. We have different plans. I'm chairman of the Rye-Town Park Advisory Council, which Doug French set up. But we are going to hit time constraints. In other words, I guess if we don't have if you don't make a decision yes or no in February or January, February, then it's too late, and we're looking at 2012. So just like to press that agenda because we do have a committee report which I believe Dan submitted to the council. So just reminding you, if you are going to take action, it'd have to be by January, February. Plus we're pushing off another year.
Can I address that?
Absolutely, yeah, sure.
Exactly right. So I think the process, I think this commission, in speaking with members as well as Supervisor Carvin, who's not here, is we're committed to some modification in the next season. And what I'm hoping tonight is that before us will be a resolution that we authorize the Bishop to actually go out to an RFP. So we have a draft RFP.
Okay.
I don't think we have to finalize the language exactly, but hopefully we'll authorize Bishop that he can go out and start to generate ideas from other vendors. And in my experience in the RFP process is generally you don't know everything, so it's really the vendors that give you some ideas that start to shape and you start to put together what's in your best interest. So hopefully we'll get a range of ideas, and then through the months of December and January we'll start to formulate what is the right, because I believe it'll be a hybrid mix of something, whatever it is. There will be manual, there will be some automation, so hopefully tonight we'll be able to do that if Mayor Feinstein shows up.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for your comment. Anyone else would like to make any public comment?
Commissioner Sack also worked on that, if there's something you want to add, Jim.
No, I think that sums it up, Doug.
Dom Servey, Rybrook. At the last October meeting, I spoke about part-time help, and after I was finished, Mr. Villanova said that he wanted to set the record straight about the new system of part-time workers and how it works. And I asked him why the people that were hired, well, I'm getting ahead of the story, so I'm going to just try to be as brief as I can. The people that were, this is what Mr. Villanova said. The people who were hired in April are supposed to work until August, and they're supposed to get laid off. They're supposed to work 5 months. And then new people are brought in, and they finish out the season. And he called it a 2-for-1 system, and it gives everybody a chance to get a chance to work, extra workers. 2-for-1 system, he called it. So I asked him why the people that started in April weren't laid off. Because according to the new system that he explained, they're only supposed to work 5 months. I worked there for 12 years, and I was laid off after 5.5 months. And when I questioned it, because I normally worked 8 or 9 months, they said, well, that's the new system. Well, if the system worked for me, then it should work for these other people. That's the first question I would like to be answered. The second one is, I'd like to know why the person that takes care of Crawford Park, the caretaker, he's allowed to work up until December. Well, he's a part-time worker like everybody else, and he should get laid off after 5 months like I did. And the third question I'd like to be answered by, there's a park director here, and there's a foreman here. And I never was called in to get, when I filled out my application, I never was called in. And it states that they have put an advertisement in the paper that they're looking for people with experience and know a thing of how to run a job and all that. And it also says that residents will get preference. Well, I'm a resident, and I have 12 years' experience, and I wasn't even brought in for an interview. And I've been here for 12 years. So what they did was they went out and they hired 5 or 6 people in maintenance. Not one of them is a resident, and one of them lives in Connecticut. So I'd like somebody to explain that to me. I've been trying to get this straightened out for about 7 or 8 months, and I seem to be getting a runaround. So Mr. Villanova told me if I wanted to get some answers, this was the place to get them. So whoever wants to answer my questions, I'm here.
Anybody from the commission like to address Mr. Serby?
I'd like to know why the people that were supposed to be laid off are not laid off, and there's still 3 of them that are working. If I got laid off after 5 months, then it should apply to everybody according to the new system that he explained to the residents at the last board meeting. Is there people here that get preference over other people, or how does that work?
Is that a staff question?
Well,
Yeah, that's a question.
Well,
I can
ultimately,
address a few, but I
Yeah.
can't address
well,
all.
I'll address one, and then if you'd like to address the others, Bishop, you can. Mr. Serby, if I remember correctly, and unfortunately, Attorney Noto is not here, but I believe that when you did make application to the town of Rye, there was current litigation, and that you were in the middle. And if I remember correctly, you were suing Rye Town Park.
I was not suing anybody.
Oh.
Let me explain.
Okay.
I had a litigation because I was let go, and people that were hired after me.
Right. So, okay. Regardless of what the
And
mechanism is,
there's a person sitting right, there's a person sitting here that had litigation too.
So you were-
And he's a director of the beach.
You were in litigation directly with the town of Rye, or with the...
What about 2010, Mr. Villanova?
Or with Rye Town Park, and obviously through the direction of the representative attorney, that's what took place there.
What about 2010?
I don't run the park. I'm here purely as a
You
facilitator.
told me that I was going to get answers, so
I
I'm
said you
here.
could-
I asked you about 2010. You told me about 2009.
Maybe I'm not going to argue with
Well,
you.
I'm not arguing with you.
Good,
You
good.
told me to come here to get answers, and that's what I'm looking for.
And here is the board.
Okay, so whoever wants to answer me, I'm all ears here. You talked about 2010, which you always talk about, but you never talk about 2009 and 10. I had an application in 2010. I was the first application.
Mr. Serby.
And if you could show me, let me finish.
And as I said in the past, Mr. Serby.
Just let me finish.
Okay, but as I said in the past, I don't review the applications. I don't hire anybody.
You told me to come here.
Excuse me?
You told me to come here to get answers.
Exactly.
I'm
right.
here.
So you're talking about specific instances, and I don't have an answer. And I'll tell you this, Mr. Serby.
Go ahead.
Okay. Ultimately, the park management is endorsed by the Rye Town Park Commission.
Okay.
3 of your commissioners are here that run the park on a monthly basis.
Okay.
I'm here as a facilitator.
Okay.
And in the best interest for you, who was looking for answers when you
That's
came
right.
to the Rye Town meeting,
More than once.
right, and I suggested to speak to the Rye Town Park Commissioners.
Okay?
And that's the reason why you're here.
Exactly.
And I suggested that for your benefit.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
All right.
But I still don't have no
So,
answers.
well, I would say as a commissioner, I would ask staff either for an answer tonight or a follow-up answer to some of his questions.
Thank you very much.
I noticed that our Attorney Noto has pulled in, and I'm sure that one of the things that he would advise is that we really don't want to discuss a lot of personnel issues in a public forum. Typically, that's the case. Mr. Servey has had issues with Rye Town Park in the past. We have reviewed his application. As part of the application process, he's certainly entitled to apply. And decisions were made to hire other people. As to the caretaker at Crawford Park, the caretaker at Crawford Park has a separate contract and has a different, what I would call, hiring and financial arrangement, because he also gets a residence in the caretaker's cottage on the park grounds. So it's a totally different thing and has no basis of comparison to the kind of employees that we hire down at Rye Town Park. The employees hired at Rye Town Park are all hired as seasonal employees. They work for the season, if you will. Some work longer, some work shorter. But the reality there is they're hired on an as-needed basis, and they're let go on an as-needed basis. Now, I'd like to leave it at that. If Mr. Servey wants to pursue it, he certainly can.
That's not what the new... Excuse me for 1 second. That's not what the new system's all about, Bishop. The new system is all about that when you get hired in April, you're supposed to get laid off in August, according to Mr. Villanova. You get 2 for 1. What happened to the 2 for 1? And what happened when all these people were supposed to get laid off? You said that you were going to replace them. Nobody got replaced. That's my bone of contention. If they laid me off, why don't they lay these other people off? And they don't work, like you said, 5 months and 3 months. I worked 9 months.
There are 2 categories of employees.
Well, I never was told that. Now all of a sudden, now there's 2 categories now.
Well, the civil service system is a fairly complex system.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, and there is a category of employees called a temporary employee. A temporary employee is allowed to work up to 10 months
Yes.
at what we would call temporary type of job. Everybody is terminated at the end of the year. Okay,
That's not what it says here.
There are no employees left at the park as of November 30th. The 2 references that you made to current employees will be terminated as of November 30th.
They're still working past 5 months. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, but you don't seem to get it.
They're working under the temporary category, the temporary employee civil service category.
Did they start in April or May?
I don't recall when they
Well,
started.
they started in May. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. May, June, July, August, September, October, November. That's 7 months. I was laid off in 5. How come? Why?
Because the park management decides who gets hired and who gets fired.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that doesn't still really give me my answer, because according to Mr. Villanova, everybody is supposed to get laid off after 5 months. And you have an advertisement in the paper that states that. And if you want to look at it, I have it right here. And when I got a FOIL, it also says that every applicant is supposed to get interviewed. There's 2 people right here. I never was interviewed. That's my next question.
I don't think it says every applicant gets interviewed. Every applicant does get reviewed and considered.
Okay, so what we have so far is Commissioner French is requesting that Park Management give the Commission a report regarding this. Is that satisfactory, Bishop?
Tell me what kind of report you want. I'll be glad to give it to you.
Commissioner French?
Well, just kind of what you explained in
Yeah.
writing. That would be fine.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Very good. Mayor Feinstein?
No, I concur. because part of this information, as we said before,